What's up, AfterBuzzers? Thanks for joining us right here. We're going to talk everything Model Squad. Yes, that includes Fashion Week, castings, and of course it wouldn't be reality TV without drama. Keep it locked right here on AfterBuzz TV.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
I literally love this song.
What a fitting, appropriate song for this show.
Exactly.
Seriously.
All right, guys, so we are here to talk everything Model Squad. I am your host, Ashley Allen. Ladies, introduce yourselves.
Hey guys, what's up? I'm Karla Beltran. So excited to be here and talk about Model Squad.
Yes, me too. Hi, ladies. Hey, guys. I'm Kayley Stumpe.
What's up, everybody? My name is Julana Dizon.
And of course, we're going to talk everything Model Squad. We're going to talk about castings. We saw New York Fashion Week. We saw, of course, some drama. You know, it has to have drama with all of these models put together. And we're going to get into our special segment of today's episode, which is who we choose as our favorite top model amongst the ladies.
Yes.
What was you guys' overall thoughts on all of the episodes? We're going to cover the entire season in this sitting. What did you guys think?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's dive into it.
I guess overall, I enjoyed the show, but I wish they would have been like they would have gone a little bit more in depth into like some of the lives of these people. I think that we were covering way too many girls, and it was really hard to like. I mean, within the first 3 like episodes, I didn't even know the names of half of the people that we were looking at. Like, and still till today, like I feel like I still don't know the names of some of the girls. I'm like, oh, the girl that didn't get the casting for Victoria's Secret. So I think there was just too many people to kind of keep track of. And but overall, I think it was really interesting to be able to get into the daily model life and just kind of see their lifestyle and all the different things that they do.
I think it had a lot of potential, but I think it kind of fell flat a little bit. It was a little bit vanilla at times, not a lot of drama, not a lot of juiciness, and it wasn't extremely relatable.
I actually have a little bit perspective. I thought it was very relatable, and I liked the show as far as the whole modeling aspect, and it kind of inspired me in my career personally, but I also agree with you where I think there were too many people that they were following. Like, I really liked in the beginning how they were kind of showing you an inside look about their day-to-day, but then, you know, like we said, they just were throwing drama in there, because I think you actually can't have reality TV without drama. I don't think that's a thing.
True. Yeah.
So there were good parts and bad parts. So.
Yeah, I think I'm in the middle between both of you, all of you guys. Me, myself, like I've done some modeling in the past, so just watching kind of how they packaged all this stuff together, I feel like it made models sound a little whiny.
Yes,
when in reality, even though it sounded whiny, those are real issues that models deal with, but I don't know if it was presented the right way to the public.
Yeah.
There were some good parts, some bad parts. There were some boring parts. But I definitely agree. My one thing was that there were too many girls. Like, you can't, it's hard to build a relationship and really connect with the cast when there's so many people you're trying to remember. Well, this person is dating this person, and they booked this and that. It's just a lot going on.
It was overwhelming.
And especially because there were only 9 episodes, really.
Yeah.
So, and I think there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 9 episodes and 9 girls.
Yeah.
So it was just enough to kind of touch on everyone a little bit.
Yeah. Exactly.
Some more than others, but I think they should have just had maybe like 4 main people that we got to
And
follow
then,
around every day.
And then everybody else would be extra, but we would get to know them as the show went on.
Yeah, because I mean, these girls, they go to the, similar or same castings. They're gonna bump into each other. They're friends, so it really wasn't necessary to have all of them on there all the time. It's just a lot. So we're gonna talk about their work, the different castings they've gone on, the different clients that they're working with, the relationships that they have with each other, how it's hard to maintain a relationship, and then of course the different issues and the different topics that came on throughout the season. But first, before we get into that, let's talk about and name all of the models that we were introduced to throughout the season. We have Devon, Olivia, Shanina, Caroline, Ping,
I feel like you should rap this.
Daniela, Hannah, Ashley, I'm terrible. So those are the girls that we got to meet in these episodes. So first, let's talk about the work.
Yeah.
What goes into becoming a model? What is castings like? And a big topic throughout the entire season was, of course, Victoria's Secret, as we all know that is pretty much the model's dream. Like, everyone wants to get their wings, as they say, and become a Victoria's Secret angel. What did you guys think about that whole process and it being such a big deal?
Honestly, I think that even if you're not a model, like, being a Victoria's Secret angel is like, if they were like, you know, host for social media for the Victoria's Secret, I would be like, yes, count me in, I'll be there.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, I think I don't think a lot of people think about how difficult casting is, and most of the time you think like, oh, okay, like if you've already walked Tom Ford, like why wouldn't you get Prada, you know? But it was kind of really interesting to kind of hear them say like, oh, well, they didn't take me because I was like too big for this, and then I look at them, I'm like, too big for what, you know? So just, and then kind of seeing them and just how dedicated they are to like their working out and like their eating habits and everything, it's like going into a casting takes a lot to prepare to, like, once you get there. And when you get there, I think it's different because, like, for them, they only have those, like, a minute to walk down and walk back. Like, there's really not much. Like, it's not, I don't even think you can really talk at a casting. And sometimes it's just, like, they're calling you, like, lucky. Next. And, but if you're not, then you just have this chance that you prepare for. And it's like, wow, you know, that's so much work. So
yeah, when the girls went to castings, it was definitely very stressful when they show the casting directors kind of just like looking them up and down. They don't say a word, they tell them to walk, and then their feedback and criticism is always kind of a little bit negative, and so you're just unsure if they're going to book the job. I feel like they opened the season with Devin kind of being the main big model who books Victoria's Secret, but even she talked about her struggles of, you know, not booking this, not booking that. And then there was Caroline who kind of talked about how she was kind of too big. She said one client told her that she was too big, another client told her that she was too thin. Yeah. And so, I mean, they definitely talked about a lot of different struggles in the modeling industry, but it is hard to relate.
Yeah.
Well, I think especially for Victoria's Secret, because most fashion shows you're wearing clothes, but Victoria's Secret you're just wearing your underwear. Yeah. So you have to work double hard, and you really have to work out. Like, I feel like other shows that are more high fashion, maybe you don't have to be super toned, but for Victoria's Secret, it's so important that you look amazing, that you're skinny, but you look also healthy and athletic and not too skinny.
Yeah. So, and not too athletic.
Right. Just perfect. You have to be just perfect for Victoria's Secret because. And I feel like that's the highlight of everyone's career because you see their personalities. Like all the Victoria's Secret shows, the girls are fun and they're flirty and they really get to like have fun on the runway, not just like, you know, put their model face on and walk straight and walk back.
Yeah, it's a chance to pretty much be a human, like they say, like
supermodel.
Because you have that model face on in different shows. But not only that, but think about the models that have become household names because of Victoria's Secret. We have Tyra, we have Giselle, we have like so many other women. And in the modeling world, this is almost like an Emmy or a Grammy or something like that. So this is really like the staple that can really make you a household name in the modeling world. So it's definitely a big deal.
Yeah, and they get to walk with the biggest names in music. All of the biggest names get to perform and they get to dance to their songs. And then, you know, models like Bahati Prinsloo met Adam Levine when Maroon 5 performed for a VS show, and now they're married with, you know, two little kids.
What a great story. How'd you meet your husband? Oh, I was walking in the Victoria's Secret fashion show, and he was just
when I was a supermodel and he was a rock star, no big deal.
Yeah. So let's also talk about Fashion Week. So Fashion Week in New York and in Paris and Milan, of course, are big deals as well. But that also comes with a lot of pressure. And, I mean, I'm sure a lot of people don't know that, you know, you can go on a casting today and then be booked for the show tomorrow. So that is a lot of pressure, along with actually doing the shows that you are already casted in. It's a lot of back and forth, a lot of stress. You don't get a lot of sleep. Like, it's a lot.
Yeah. Well, I think the models that are functioning on this level, all the girls that we saw, they're full-time models. Like, this is their whole career. So they're literally on call all the time. And I know that they mentioned that a little bit, but like you said, they have castings last minute. They could have to fly or book a show last minute. So they're just always kind of in this limbo where they have the day off, but they might not have the day off. Like anything could happen. So they always have to be ready. They always have to look good. They always have to be on point.
Yeah, and they can't really ever have a cheat day. Like at the very end when Olivia books Sports Illustrated, they're like, we're going to shoot soon. And she's like, my stomach isn't ready for that.
Yeah.
So, that would be tough. You always have to be in perfect tip-top shape.
Yeah, and not only that, but I feel like it's so funny because people look at Fashion Week and they think like, oh my gosh, Fashion Week, it's so glamour. Like you go to shows, you're walking. Like honestly, through the other side of the lens, it looks so much fun. But I know friends that are like, Fashion Week is the worst week of my life because like you said, they don't sleep, they get called like back to back, and it's just kind of one of those things where you're like, you appreciate more like all the effort that they do to be prepared in order for them to be able to walk any runway whenever they get called to, basically.
Yeah.
I really like Devin had a quote, one of my favorites from the show, and it was when she was talking to Olivia about her walking in the show, and she was like, just think about how tired and hungry you are while you're walking down, and that will give you the perfect runway phase. And I was like, wow, that really makes sense. If I ever have another runway casting, I'm going to think about that and see what happens.
Yeah. And the modeling world is a lot of hurry up and wait. Yeah. So once you get booked on a show and you make it there your call time, you have to sit there and wait. Yeah. Like, it could be hours. It could be, like, all day. Like, it's just... The waiting process is also exhausting. And I think a lot of people don't realize that. Yeah. Especially if it's cold and then you feel like you can't eat because you're going to be wearing this tiny stuff. Like, it's just... It can become a lot if you're not mentally prepared. You have to be mentally prepared.
Right.
I'd be like, where are the protein bars?
Listen, I mean... Ladies, if you're interested in modeling, like, of course, don't sit around and eat like a pack of cookies, but it's okay to eat like half the cookie, you know? Indulge a little bit.
That's my philosophy. Whatever I used to eat, I just eat half, or maybe like a bite or 2 bites.
Yeah.
You'll be okay.
But that takes a lot of discipline as well.
It does.
Especially because, like, it depends on, I mean, I guess the entertainment industry, I don't know how different it is from the modeling industry, but, like, the entertainment industry, like, there's always, like, crafty tables, and, like, there's all the good snacks. Mm-hmm. They have the healthy snacks, but then they have the good, unhealthy snacks, too. So it's, like, the discipline of deciding whether am I going to have an apple or am I going to have hot Cheetos.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So.
Hot Cheetos.
Hot Cheetos.
I would go with the hot Cheetos, too.
Yeah. Well, when it came to the stresses of Fashion Week with the show, like, if you have never worked as a model before, I feel like for audiences watching this show, it was still kind of hard to relate. Like, they showed a little bit of them rushing and going to different castings and, you know, running across the street and stuff, but it was mostly just them in their interviews kind of talking at the camera, explaining how stressed they are, and it's like, I would have liked to see more of them showing the real life stresses.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Like, more backstage action. You know, like, when you come off the runway, there's no time to, be cute and unbuttoned and fluff hair. No, you're getting your clothes ripped off and getting into the next outfit. Those are the type of things that I would have liked to see.
I would have liked to see more of that. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think everybody likes, like, behind the scenes, so anything behind the scenes would have been, like,
just something more raw and real and kind of more genuine rather than them just talking about it in their interviews. Exactly. I feel like would have made the show a little bit more relatable. And
I think the Victoria's Secret show that we see every year on TV does a good job at that.
That's
After
true.
we see, you know, each segment, we get to see, like, them running backstage, getting the wigs
the wigs off.
Those are the type of things we want to see, because it's like it feels exclusive. It feels like you're seeing something that maybe you're not supposed to, or you know, you're getting an insight. And I think that is one of the key things that we missed overall throughout the entire season.
Or it would have been cool to see them, like, rehearsing for the show, and stuff like that. Just how they walk out, how they line up, how if they have counts or
like
whatnot.
The whole process,
right?
From casting to, like, preparing and then being there and then afterwards.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Next time.
Next time.
Another big client that was mentioned this season was Sports Illustrated. What do you guys think about that? Because they're Victoria's Secret and Sports Illustrated are like two different clients. And I know that when Ashley, was it Ashley went in for, no, she went in for a GQ casting, and she was really meek, really shy. She didn't really know what to do. And I think that also came with, I don't know if she knew her client, which is a big thing when you're going on a casting. You have to know who the audience is.
Right.
And she didn't really seem to know that.
I mean, the first most important thing is if you're going on a casting for a client, you Google them and you look up all the past things that they've done. I felt like, I don't know if she was nervous because she was brand new, but she has been here in LA and been working for a long time. So if you're going to New York, she already knows that she has to go there and like hit it hard and give it 110%.
Yeah.
So I felt like in that stance, she kind of blew it. I mean, she didn't have a card, she didn't have anything, which I understand sometimes you don't have that.
Yeah.
But like, you're in New York, you can't do that. Like, you gotta give them something.
Would a modeling agency send one of their models to clients without them being prepared with a book or a card? That seems a little.
Yeah, that also seems like it's part of the agencies, but you should always be prepared as well. You know?
Always be prepared. But to be honest, like nowadays, they really don't even look at your card and they really don't even look at your book because everything is digital now.
Right, true.
So honestly, I think that was like a TV moment because when you go on castings now, they don't even look for your book anymore because they already have the material. But it is a teaching lesson to always be prepared. Even though they may not ask for that now, still have it on you because someone
you never know when they can. Yeah.
I always think it's good to have, if you have a web page or somewhere where you have your portfolio online, so that way if they do ask for it, worst case scenario, you pull it up on your phone and show them, if you have an iPad. But yeah, the days of like carrying around a big heavy modeling book with hard printed photos,
that seems very like 2004 American model.
Especially if you're running around New York, like those things get heavy.
It's
like like,
I will say
playing out.
still have it, but just know that they're probably not going to ask you for it.
Yeah. Can we talk about that crazy photographer Yutsai?
Yes.
I liked him.
I did too.
He was so raw and real.
Meet him,
And I loved how he just like kind of got under Olivia's skin. Like she's very like perfect and always, says the right thing, and she's not used to having like her feathers ruffled.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I thought that was a fun moment to watch.
Yeah.
It's kind of like broke her down a little bit.
Yeah.
I know. I love when she was asking her team, like, does this look good?
Yeah.
He was like, why do you care about them?
Yes.
Like, listen to me. I'm the one that's making you look good. I'm trying to like, create a moment for you.
Yeah. Because it's all about your connection with the photographer. Like the people in the back, they're not supposed to be there in your mind. It's all about your connection with the photographer. So again, I'm sure that was a teaching moment for her because that's how it really is. You have to connect with the photographer. But I'm glad that he was kind of gentle on her, sort of, because I'm pretty sure he could have got worse.
I mean, he was nice later. He ended up being very, like, they had a good relationship.
Yeah.
But he was real.
I liked both aspects where we were able to see, like, the nice photographer versus the photographer. Not that he wasn't nice, but just, like, the more real photographer. That's just, like, I'm here to do my job. Like, I'm not here, like, I want you to give me your best. And I really liked how he was, like, I don't feel like you're confident enough to, like, do this. And then, like, in a way, maybe she wasn't, And, like, I kind of liked that she got a little bit out of her shell, because when you think about Olivia Culpo, you think Miss Universe, and you don't think her posing with like her butt out or something. So it's like, I know that this was a little bit out of her comfort zone, and it was really interesting to kind of see her like, oh, okay, like, this is it's okay to kind of have like this, and then to see her struggle, because it was a lot, like, it was very relatable to at least me.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I know we have some news that we want to share with you guys, some AfterBuzzers.
Yes, we do. Hey, AfterBuzzers, our network produces after shows for nearly all your favorite TV shows. From dramas, reality TV, sci-fi, and more, there's no network that works harder to serve television fans. But we need your help. We're asking that you please subscribe to one or more of our YouTube channels. By subscribing to our channel, YouTube will suggest content that's tailor-made for you, and you'll help AfterBuzz continue to grow. If you're worried about pesky notifications, don't be, because they're optional. So hit that subscribe button now for this channel and check out our other AfterBuzz YouTube channels as well. Let us know you did so in the comments, and we'll thank you on air. For now, thanks for being the best fans and for helping us be the ESPN of TV Talk.
Absolutely. And we can be found on iTunes, so you guys can catch us on YouTube, iTunes, we're everywhere. Right?
Yes, we are.
All right, I want to talk about the relationships, all the different relationships we saw throughout the season. A common theme we saw that it's kind of hard to maintain a romantic relationship with a partner as a model. What did you guys
Unless
think
your
about
partner is a model.
Then it's perfect. I was actually surprised because some of them we were introduced to in the beginning.
Yeah.
But a couple of them, I didn't even know they were in relationships till like the very end. I was like, wow, they've been going through this whole lifestyle with no mention of a boyfriend. So for me, that would be hard for me. Like, I like to be with my boyfriend every day. So I would need like a Caroline Heath situation going on.
Yeah.
But not like a, hey, oh, okay, you're in Europe for 2 weeks and then I'm going to be here, so maybe we'll catch up in a month and a half.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would be cool with that.
Yeah, I liked the Caroline and Heath. I feel like that was the relationship and the life that we got to dive deepest into and like get to know them the best. I thought their scenes were pretty interesting and fun to watch. I thought they were cute.
Yeah.
They're cute.
I thought it was cute, but I personally enjoyed more watching everybody else, seeing kind of how they make the relationships work. You know, like, for example, Olivia Culpo and Danny Amendola, I believe is his last name. For me, it was like, how do you guys make the time? And, like, I guess for all the other relationships, but it was kind of one of those things where you're like, in a way, it's a little bit relatable, because nowadays, how do you maintain a relationship, even with social media itself, you know? And then, like, is that how they keep up with each other? Like, looking at each other, like, via Instagram posts? I was like, I'm so confused right now. So, and I don't know, it was just the whole relationship scene thing. I was like, I wouldn't be able to have a boyfriend going to all these places. Like, there's no way. Like, you don't have the time, you know? So I give them props for being able to have the dedication to, like, be dedicated to one person, even though they don't get to see them all the time. And for the partner as well, you know, because it's not only you doing it, it's your partner, like, kind of being okay with the fact that you're doing all these things and never really being home.
Yeah, I think it pretty much, like, sucks for both parties, because, you know, everyone wants to be successful in their own right, but you also don't want to end up alone. So how do you juggle and balance that? Like, is it realistic?
You know what? I just thought about this, but maybe it's easier for people that are really busy and doing a lot and going a lot of places to also have a partner that's really busy and doing the same thing. Because think about it on the flip side. If you're like Olivia and you're going to events and you're flying to Paris and then you're going to New York and you're going to LA and you're going all these places, and then imagine you have a boyfriend that's just always in LA, like working some, I don't know, some job, whatever he may
9
do.
to 5.
Yeah, some 9 to 5 job, and then, you know, he's just always missing you, and then, you know, staying here. And
Well, would you want him to tag along, though?
Right.
Would you rather him be at home, kind of like living a normal life, or would you rather him tag along with you and maybe be part of the team?
Yeah, because if you're that successful, then you would probably just want to have him leave his 9 to 5 job and come
you
and
could
be
just
with
salary him to be your boyfriend.
I feel like I would, because a lot of trust issues would come with me having, like, if I had a boyfriend and I was, like, traveling around and he was only in one spot and I was all over the place, I wouldn't feel comfortable with him being in one place the whole time.
Right.
Well, that's
like, I would have trust issues. I would rather him be around.
That's what I was getting at. It might be easier to have someone who's also always on the go, because then you know that at least they're also really busy, so they don't have time to be finding a new girlfriend.
Yes.
Well, yeah, not only that, but, you know, if you chose to have him with you all the time, you have to make sure that you have the right person, that they are confident in themselves, because you don't want them to become resentful of being second in line, or you know, always having to follow behind you. So I think all of it could work out. It's just, you have to have the right person, and you have to have communication. You have to be completely
There's
honest.
a lot of details that we need to work out.
There's a lot of potential
a lot
issues.
of discussions that would need to be had.
Yeah, like if both of you live like bigger than big lives, it kind of takes me to like a Khloe Kardashian, Tristan Thompson situation.
Yeah.
He had all these side chicks.
Yeah,
you know, it's just like kind of, you never know.
Yeah. What do you guys think about the topic we saw that you know, marriage was brought up, and, you know, whether they would stay in New York for another 5 years, and, you know, would you still work after pregnancy? How do you think that works, you know, with all of us being women and, you know, still wanting to have a family and still living a sort of normal life without completely pushing a career like modeling to the side?
Well, I feel like we're all like, well, okay, so Caroline's 22.
Yeah.
Right.
So she is just getting into her career and doing a good job. So I feel like she is young to have a baby. I could see her getting married if they've been together for 4 years and they're in love. Sure, get married. But she still has a lot of time to have a baby, and give her like 5 more years to really solidify her career even more. and then you can have babies. I mean, Candace has a baby. Alessandra has like 3 babies. They're still walking for Victoria's Secret.
Yeah.
But they're like 10 years older than she is. I feel like the show is
like
really
in their 30s.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and she's only 22.
Late 30s.
But I feel like the show is really pushing this storyline very, very far.
They pushed it hard. They took it to Mississippi. Okay.
It was a lot. Yeah.
I mean, I think that kind of goes for any career, you know, like if you're planning on having a baby, like are you going to be okay with going to work? I mean, everybody has to go to work, and like either you're going to get a babysitter or you're not, but you can't take your child to work type of deal. And first of all, yes, she was super young, and then I think you should be able to enjoy your career. And then when you get to a point where you're like, you know what, like I'm okay with right now taking a step backwards, because like you can't, I don't think you can move forward with modeling while you're pregnant unless if you're gonna be in a pregnancy ad or something, you know. But afterwards, it's like I feel like there's different options. Like if you're already a model, maybe you won't be able to do runway for like a year while you're recovering, but maybe you could do print. So I think that whole topic itself could have been like opened up to like, okay, what are my other options where I could still keep my career, but like I'll be able to come back from it, you know?
Yeah, because I feel like a lot of people have the mindset that once you have a baby, your career is done.
Which is
but
not true.
It's not true. Okay, if she has a baby, she can do print modeling. That's mom and daughter. There's like so many castings and companies out there looking for real families. So okay, now you have a model mom and a model dad and a model child. That's very of course they're gonna get hired for something.
That's
you know, they can book family jobs now.
There are a lot of options.
Right.
But she was just getting into like runway and trying to step away from print, and she's just so young. I feel like she doesn't need to have a child just yet.
To even be thinking about it, I think right now should just be like, okay, like where am I going to travel next? Or,
I think they're rushing it, and I think it also touches on, you know, in the modeling industry where 22, 23 can be considered old, and that is one thing that I appreciated is a nice handful of the girls were in their late 20s, which is considered retirement age in the modeling industry. So again, it just shows you, right? It's like she's 28, she's not old. King, she was 28 or 29. That's not old whatsoever. She's been working forever. She's still working. So ladies, and gentlemen, do not get caught up on that. Like, you are okay.
You know what? Like the whole age thing was like so weird for me when in the beginning of the season, when they were put like their names and their ages, and like they've been modeling for like 40 years. I'm like, you're 20. Like, how have you been modeling for so long? It was super interesting to be like, okay, like you've been working for such a long time doing this, so I can see why people are like, oh yeah, like because you've aged, you know, in a different way.
Yeah. I mean, some of them start young.
Yeah.
10 years old. 14, 15. They get scouted because they're just really tall and skinny. And all their peers are like here and there.
So let's talk about the relationships amongst the women. It was very cliquish, I feel like. It didn't take a long time to get that way where you could see who is best friends with who. What did you guys think about that? I mean, I wasn't surprised that happened.
I see it as we had 2 main groups. So we had Olivia and Devin, who were besties. And then Caroline and Ashley were friends. But then, like, Ping was there, and then that whole thing happened. And then I feel like the other girls were kind of just very neutral.
Yeah, it was a weird dynamic. It was kind of hard to figure out, like, who was friends with. I feel like the show was trying to push more drama than there was. Like, I think the show and the producers were very happy about Ping and her, like, little drama night and getting a little too, like, tipsy and playing that Never Have I Ever game and calling out Caroline. But the drama was just like very vanilla for a reality show, especially on
I love that you use that word. That term.
It's
so vanilla.
So cute.
I don't know. What do you guys think?
For me, I feel like I didn't think it was truthful, to be honest with you. In the beginning, they spoke about how, I think people think that models don't like each other because we're competing for the same jobs and stuff like that. And then, like, I think it was Pink who was like, I saw her looking at me up and down type of deal, where it's like, I know like as women, we know that like we don't all get along with each other, even if we don't know the person, like, and we see the person, we could already tell if we're gonna like them or not.
Yeah.
So it was kind of one of those things where, like, I feel like even within them, like, they didn't all even really like each other, but they were like, okay, we're on the show together, like, let's not be super dramatic, because, like, I think they were trying to put up a face of, like, oh no, we all get along together.
They were kind of walking on eggshells.
And, like, it was more of like, wait, are you guys, like, so you guys don't have any drama? Because, like, I don't have like 9 really close friends and have no drama, you know, like with the few of them that I have, like we like not necessarily have arguments, but we talk about other stuff that like could be like there are different topics that you're just like, oh, okay, like, you know, they're not necessarily, I don't know how to explain it, but yeah.
I just think no one wanted to be the villain.
Yeah, and nobody wanted to be like, oh, put up a face of like,
no, I think Ping absolutely did not care about not being a villain.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we can get into that with the issues with the whole diversity comment, that whole conversation. I'm glad it didn't go further than what it could have been.
Yeah.
But I do understand the conversation. Of course, our favorite moment was, I don't speak Paris. Is that what she said?
I have the quote. Can I read it?
Yeah,
read exactly the quote.
I literally effing went through hell. This is Devin. Went through hell and literally lived in different countries like every other month and didn't speak that language. I didn't speak Paris, didn't speak Italian, and I did that for like 2 years. You know how hard it is to be blonde? I have to get a highlight every month. Do you know how expensive that is?
And
how much money do you make? You make so much money.
I know.
Sure.
Like, she got so much flack online for that.
I'm just gonna say this, like, based on the conversation that they were having about diversity, whether it's skin color, hair type, body size, or whatever, I'm just like, why did you even make that comment that had nothing to do with the conversation? And that just it didn't fit in with anything that they were talking about, and you just made yourself sound very privileged
and ignorant.
And not only that, but I feel like in the modeling world now we're seeing so much diversity, you know, where like we see all skin types, all colors, all like sizes, and it's like, why bring that up when like you're around many different people that look like different all the time, you know?
Well, I think it's still even though things have improved, it is still a thing. But I just don't think that her comment in particular really had any value to the conversation.
Yeah.
Why did she feel the need to say anything? Like the girls were talking about it the day after, saying it was just so unnecessary for her to even just sit back and listen.
That was the thing that sparked the whole blow up and the big conversation later, because that was just like a tiny conversation they had in a comment. And then they brought it back. Obviously they needed some kind of drama. I do feel like they kind of heightened it and played it up just for the sake of the TV show.
With Ping at the staycation.
Yeah, with Ping at the staycation and all that. And just like, it just maybe even talking about it in the first place. I feel like they might have just been like, we need to talk about an issue. This is a good one. You guys are diverse and you guys are white, so here they make something up. Like, you know.
Yeah.
But, should we talk about the staycation?
Let's get into influencer versus being a model. So Olivia kind of was the role of the influencer because she hasn't been modeling professionally, versus the other girls who have been, booking Tom Ford and doing Fashion Week and stuff like that. So we got to see the different types of modeling and to see an influencer who wants to break more into the actual Fashion Week type modeling. What did you guys think about Olivia's journey into that?
It was a little bit more interesting. It was new for a modeling show because, shows like America's Next Top Model, there was no such thing as like an influencer on social media. And with Olivia, like, I feel like a lot of audiences knew who she was going into this show. Yeah. She won Miss Universe. She dated Nick Jonas for a long time. So she's like basically a pseudo celebrity. Yeah. So I thought that was interesting coming from her point of view, wanting to do more high fashion modeling when the other girls want to do what she's doing, work events and speak at different events and be an influencer. So that was a different take on the modeling world right now.
I think that's the main reason why they included her and Devin, because they're friends in real life, and then they're exactly the opposite. Like, I have a quote. So Devin said, "She gets hired to be Olivia, whereas I get hired to be the chameleon who can change into different people."
Right.
And Olivia said back to that, "Yeah, but your part seems more fun, though. At least you're making money." Which is also an issue because I feel like, I mean, Olivia has a lot of followers, so she probably gets paid to go places. But I think a lot of influencers, they just get to go to things for free, or they get things sent for free, but they're not all the time making money that they can use to pay their rent. Whereas models, you know, they don't get that as much, but they're making cash. They're working. They're doing a job.
But then it depends on the type of modeling because some runway models or like some trade show models, they'll give you clothes.
Trade,
they'll give you clothes or free products or a gift card to the spa versus like an actual check for the work that you've done. So it just kind of depends on the client. It depends on whether you're doing runway versus print. It's all tricky at the end of the day. Just give people cash. Like, we just want money.
Just pay people.
I'll buy a dress from you if I want it. Just give me the check.
That shocked me about Devin. Like, I wonder how often she just works for trade because she's such an in-demand, high fashion model.
Yeah.
I think probably when you get to that level, you're getting paid. But starting out, like, I know a lot of runway models don't get paid that much. Or even sometimes, like, I've heard if models have shot for the cover of Vogue, they don't get paid for that stuff. They just do it for trade because it's such a big name. Everybody wants to walk for so-and-so. Everybody wants to be on the cover of Vogue because that stuff will heighten your career. But, you know, they do it because
you make the sacrifice.
It's such a great thing to be like, look, I was on the cover of this, I was on the cover of that, I walked for this person. So it kind of sucks. It's one of those situations where by accepting things free because they're cool, they're devaluing the whole industry. You know, if everybody was like, no, I'm not going to do that for free, you have to pay me, then it would make the clients have to pay all the models in money.
I wonder if that's the same thing with male models.
I
think so.
From what I know, And the crazy thing is, like, you would think that, like, runway, you know, Fashion Week Paris, all that stuff is where the money is, but the money is actually in print. When you get campaigns and sign contracts, that's where the money is. So usually in those situations, it's not trade. Like, you sign a contract and you get paid. But like I said, the runway or trade shows, they'll give you a dress. Pick whatever you want from the closet, and that's your fee.
Well, I really liked this like model versus influencer topic, and especially coming from Olivia, because I feel like Olivia, like you guys mentioned, she already has a name for herself, and it's very interesting to kind of be like, even though you have a name for yourself, that doesn't mean that you can go ahead and walk in and be like, okay, like I want to walk for like Tom Ford, you know, because it's like, oh, she still has to work for it. And that's one of the things that I kind of would have liked to see, like, how is she really making like a step forward to kind of be part of like the Fashion Week and the runway. So, you know, because right now we see her, I feel like even till this day we always see her being the influencer, but I feel like she would have to stop doing a lot of influencer things. Like, she would have to make the sacrifice of like maybe not get paid for a couple of things in order for her to be able to break into the whole modeling industry. And I feel like that whole, like, because there's influencers that I've seen that have even walked like a couple of shows like recently for like big names too. So it was really interesting to have Olivia kind of give us this section, and then I would have really liked to kind of follow her journey a little bit more on this whole topic.
And I think this will be a cool journey to see in real life. You know, now that social media is such a big thing and influencers are such a big part of the culture, to see how they are going to, you know, from now going forward, how they are incorporated into fashion. So we are running out of time, ladies.
God, there's so much to talk about.
I know. She was like typing. I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know.
So let's jump into our special segment of who you guys think is the top model of the season. All right. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay.
I've been waiting for this. Okay. So my top model, aka my personal favorite, was Caroline, and I have a lot of reasons. Ever since like the first episode where she came and introduced herself, she's a Florida girl. I'm a Florida girl. I feel like we're very similar. Her boyfriend is like kind of from the Midwest. My boyfriend's kind of from the Midwest. There's just a lot of similarities. I really like her. I want to be friends with you, Caroline. But also the thing that I liked about her, she had a quote, and she said, I didn't get into this industry to do the cover of Vogue. I got into this industry to pay my bills and support myself.
Yes.
This is my career. I want to make money. I don't really care about the other stuff.
Yeah.
And that really resonated to me because I do modeling also for a career, but I'm not high fashion. And I feel like when you tell someone you're a model, they're like, oh, are you doing, like, if you're not doing high fashion, it's not, like, cool.
Yeah.
But like we touched on before, a lot of the times, like, the high fashion models aren't getting paid, whereas the commercial models, the people that are shooting the e-com, the catalogs, the billboards, they're the ones making all the money. And she said that her priority, she mostly books things like that. Like she said, I've probably been in every catalog you've ever seen, but not a lot of runway shows.
Yeah.
So I just really like that about her, that, you know, she's like, I'm here to make money, and I don't care about that stuff, where so many people are caught up in, like, the glitz and the glam and being at the parties and whatnot. She's like, nope, I'm going to shoot my catalog and go hang out with my boyfriend. I'm good.
Yeah, I love it.
I love it. She's badass.
Yeah.
My top model is Daniela, who was from Brazil. I just thought she was so much fun and had such a fun, upbeat personality. And she, you know, learned English. She said she speaks 3 languages, and she wants to perfect her English. She said she wanted to be able to speak like Michelle Obama. She was taking her driving test, trying to learn how to drive in New York City. I thought she was really fun and cute.
I like that.
Nice.
My personal favorite is definitely Olivia Culpo. I've looked up to Olivia ever since she won Miss Universe, and she is like, I know that she's done hosting before. She does it all, and I want to be able to have that dedication that she does, where she's like, you know what, tomorrow I have to be in Paris, next week I have to be in New York, and I have to do this and I have to do that. I love how she works. She's like, I'm an influencer, I'm a model, I'm like a restaurant owner. She does it all, and she does it so well. She's my favorite.
Yeah, love it.
Yeah. I would say my favorite was Hannah. I liked Hannah because she just was one model that was completely comfortable in her skin. She talked about, you know, some of the body issues that she's had in the industry with being too fit, or having, you know, her boobs are too big or her butt is too big. And I like the fact that even though she has to listen to those criticisms, she's not trying to change herself into what someone else wants her to be. She's fitting in her role, and she's making it work, and she's successful. So that's what I really admire about her, because you have to have thick skin, and you have to be confident in yourself, because everyone's going to have an opinion about what you should or shouldn't do. And she's doing a good job, in my opinion. So good job.
All these girls are doing a good job, honestly. Like, to be denied, like, I'm sure they get so many denials, like, on the daily, and for them to still keep going after it and just be thankful for the one job that they get, it's really good.
Yeah.
I think overall they did a good job casting, because even hearing your guys' favorites, like Danielle's like, oh, I really like Daniela too. And I really like Olivia. And Shanina, nobody said Shanina, but I really liked Shanina.
I liked her too. Yeah.
So I pretty much liked everyone a lot except
They were all good. Yeah.
All right, let's get into some news and gossip.
Okay.
AfterBuzz TV News.
So this season we saw Devin talking to her mom about her boyfriend Johnny, who we never really saw at all, but how she was saying how she's super in love. Yeah, I know, exactly. Super in love. He's the perfect guy. Anyway, they did end up getting engaged this summer. They were dating for 2 years. And so his whole plan started with the couple taking a plane ride over a private beach, which then were the words written out, "Marry me?" in the sand. Devin was completely surprised, and she posted on Instagram, "This is the best day of my life, and I cannot wait to marry the best person in the whole universe. I'm the luckiest woman in the world." And her ring is beautiful.
Yeah.
Nice.
They're so cute.
So cute. And next up, I wanted to dive in to see if Heath ever proposed to Caroline, because on the last episode, he was teasing it.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think they filmed that almost a year ago. So this is a year later. They're still not engaged.
No ring?
Oh my gosh.
I don't see a ring. I don't see a ring.
Okay.
And last up, Shanina did end up marrying DJ Ruckus. They got married in the Bahamas.
That's so cute.
In May.
Congratulations.
Congrats.
Yeah. Well, it's good to see all of these ladies are still doing beautiful things, and they're still in their relationships.
Yeah, they
even
are.
though they may not be engaged, they're still holding it together.
They're moving forward.
Yes. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining us here talking everything Model Squad. I'm Ashley Allen, and you can find me on all social media at Ashley Reed Allen.
You guys, thank you so much for joining us. I wish this lasted all season long, but we were able to recap it. We got it all under control. I'm your host, Karla Beltran. You can follow me on Instagram at I am Karla Beltran.
Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm Kayley Stumpe. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Kayley Stumpe, and check out my podcast, Sex in Studio City.
Woo, again, this was so fun. I wish we had more time.
Yes.
But you guys can follow me on Instagram at Julana.
All right, and be sure to like, comment, and subscribe on YouTube and on iTunes. We can be found everywhere. And if you want to continue the conversation, we have time. You can follow us on Twitter, Instagram. We would love to continue the conversation with you guys. But until next time, keep it locked right here on AfterBuzz TV. Ciao.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.